reason we dig out of rocks is this right here. The neighbor's out land rolling, and he's got about 40 of these little islands he's got to go around that he can't farm through because there's rocks in there. So we dig them up, and then we can farm right through it. For instance, this field I'm going to now, there was 30 rock piles that we dug up. Well, you may think, well, it's just 30 things you got to go around. Well, when you're going through the field 5 times, because you got manure, chiseling, cultivating, planting, and harvesting, well, that 30 things you got to go around becomes 150. And now you're doing that every single year. So we just dig them up once and get it done with. And now we're left with a few stones to pick up. Got my dad to switch with me. He's going to plant for an hour. I just filled them up with our cheap man seed tender here. So that's a little bit of what we're dealing with here. Where all this grass is where the last guy farmed around. We had an excavator come in here and dig up the rock outcropping that he was farming around. Well, big rocks hit each other, they'll shatter. So now we got all these small ones to pick up. Some are very small, some aren't so small. We'll get these all picked up tomorrow, cultivate it, and I can plant it. And we'll be done with soybeans for the year. Well, we've snapped enough log chains that we're gonna try and hook the tractor back up to it. So we got the skid steer trying to lift the hitch back up, then I can get the tractor in here. If this don't work, we got an excavator sitting on the corner of the field yet that'll try and lift it up. Well, we're out here drilling in more soybeans. We're on the very last field. I think I took some footage of over here. I just got the right part of the field left. Going through an old rock pile. So a little bit of a dip there. Like this dip up here. There used to be a rock pile there the last guy farmed around. We dug them out, so now we can farm right through them. The ones on the west side of the field are nice and dry, but the ones on the east side are not. And the clips before you saw, this is when we buried the Pearl Drive. So we had the luxury of digging that out. But he went home because, well, it's raining now, and he's already 40 acres ahead of me, so I got an hour and a half to catch him. And if you cultivate it, and then it gets rained on before you plant it, the cultivator works it so fine that when it gets rained on, it's just, there's no crevices, because it's so powdery. Once it gets wet, it just turns into a mat, and then it just does not dry whatsoever. The nice thing about a drill, I can go a little bit longer. A corn planter by now little bit of mud, but I can go until my opener discs start plugging. And that's kind of my cutting point. At that point I can't go any farther. But I gotta turn around because that's a mud hole. Well, the rain has since stopped for now. And we're getting back after it. Well, this is what I got left of the field. But that all we're getting stuck in with skid steers, and there's no way I'll drag the drill through it. He didn't even cultivate it. Right there is where he buried the skid steer. And there is what I thought was that mud hole. Turns out it's just a rock he's going to dig out with his excavator because it's the size of the skid steer. If I get all this done and it's still not raining yet, I'll probably work along the road here, and then I can work north and south until I get back to the waterway there. But we're just keeping it going as much as we can, get as much done as we can tonight. Next week, the 10-day forecast has 8 days of rain, and we're supposed to cut hay next week, so it ain't looking promising. Well, a little cell has popped up and really put some moisture down, so I think we'll be shutting her down here. My main transport wheels are starting to throw up some mud, and my front tires are throwing mud, so I think it might be time to call it. Getting pretty close to getting done there though. Well, I probably pushed her a little later than I should have, but it's June 3rd, and this might be the last planting we do. If it would have been middle of May, I would have quit right away. But yeah, it's June 3rd, so next week's forecast is all rain. So there's a very high chance that we won't be planting anymore. And now I got bugs in my cab. I have to check when our insurance date is. We might have to prevent plant the last 30 acres. So until next time, enjoy. God bless. About there. Managed to send it about 2/3 of the way through the wet spot. Didn't even cultivate this because it was tacky on top. It's probably the only reason I can make it through right now. I know my window's real filthy from planting last night in the rain. Probably the last pass here, and then I'll lift up and start way back over there again. That was sitting water a couple days ago. And we're pulling out. Farmer today, getting as many acres as we can in. I know when I was planting this last night, I said whatever we didn't get planted last night, but that'd be it for planting. But we only got a 1/10 of an inch of rain last night. Let it dry all day. It was somewhat sunny, slight breeze, so I dried up what I could. Now we're out here planting again, and this will be my last pass. This here I got done last Friday, 8 days ago.